Hi everybody, it's Andy Phillips, and you can see I've got Stephen Cowgill from Horizon UK Property Group. Hi Stephen, how you doing?
Hi Andy, I'm good. How are you?
Very, very good, mate. Very good. What we're doing here, we're doing a little bit of a case study, a showcase for some of our clients. And today it's Horizon Property Solutions' turn. And Steve, give us a little bit of background about your business as it is at the moment.
Yeah, sure, Andy. Yeah, so Horizon Property Solutions is the company that we've got under the group of Horizon Property UK Property Group. We provide investment solutions for people wanting to get into the UK property market. So it's focused really on HMO, high income investments in the Greater Manchester area.
Right. Okay. And I mean, you obviously wanted to get online and really sort of try and hit that target market, that perfect target market. Who is your perfect target market?
So I suppose the market we're looking at really is people who are looking to invest in the UK property, don't know where to start. They go online, they see a myriad of options of how they can invest their money and the high returns that they can get. And really, it's just a minefield of options that people can do. So I needed something that was a bit more unique and a bit more sort of pointed to what I'm trying to do.
Because we put a lot of sort of functionality behind the site, because we use funnels rather than websites. We don't use WordPress. We use a funnel technology. The functionality that we put into the site with you, is that an important aspect of how you're going to be doing your business in future?
Oh, 100%, Andy, 100%. I think with property investment businesses and businesses generally, the more time you spend on value-adding areas, the more successful you're going to be. And so putting funnel systems together and creating all that yourself is just a minefield. Unless you know what you're doing, it just consumes so much time. So absolutely, having that system that's there with a professional look and feel, it just allows you to not waste too much time on it really, and focus on areas like your investors and your properties, and not have to be worried that you've got the right system or trying to do it yourself.
Yeah, because the sort of functionality that we put in these things is really to give some sort of primary and secondary calls to action. And the primary one is when people go to your website to begin with, we've got certain information on the landing page, and it was carefully sort of designed with a proper title and a proper subtitle, and but a call to action is essential for these pages. So what we've done with you and with a lot of our clients is we put a download, and this is really a prospectus. It's an initial investor pack where an investor can find out a little bit more about your business. How did you find that, getting that together?
It was really easy, Andy, and I think the support we get from you and your team just made it even easier. It's very easy to get overwhelmed with these type of things, especially if you're not tech savvy and you're not creative in terms of putting these prospectuses together. And I think just the whole process from start to finish was just so supportive, and it's actually fun to do it. You get quite creative with these things once you've got the guidance, but it really helps. And in terms of the call to action, you hit the nail on the head there. It's really something that people can go to, reassuringly put their information in, and as the investor and as the sort of owner of the system, to not have to then follow up manually and not have to remember that someone's downloaded a prospectus and maybe you want to follow up with them. It's just, as I said earlier, it just takes away so much time and effort that you can focus elsewhere.
Yeah, we put a lot of effort in trying to get the sort of automation sorted out and things like that. And I think I told you at the time, it took us about sort of 3 months to actually build this whole system. So it's as easy for you guys as possible to get actually on there, get it working, and having the email follow-up systems and things like that. When we went through the emails, I mean, we had a bit of fun sort of doing the pages and things like that. But it's the sort of email sequence follow-up stuff that really does make a difference. You know, when an investor sort of comes on board initially with a download, the second call to action is obviously booking a call, and there's a whole section I want to sort of just touch on in a moment. But those follow-up sequences make a hell of a lot of difference to, just getting these investors on board, getting them little bits of information at certain times. So it makes it easy for them to think about you as a business that they want to do something with. So when we did the emails, I mean, how did you find that, going through the emails and just customizing them to your brand, let's say?
Yeah, they're really useful. I suppose what helps is to provide the template of what the email structure and narrative looks like, because I think most people, and I include myself in that, you become a bit sort of clouded by what you should put. So I think what you and the team do in terms of providing some structure that you can then just make unique in your own words and your own language really helps. And in terms of the email automation, it's really powerful. I mean, I've had people phone me and say, "Oh, Steve, thanks for that email. I did download your prospectus, but I forgot to follow up with you. Forgot to give you a call. So can we get together?" So it really helps, and it's not something we have to think about as the host. It just happens, and it does work as I've just shown with the example.
Yeah, because we've also got things like pipelines in there as well. How are you finding the pipeline?
No, the pipelines are really good, and I find the app is very useful. Everyone's on the move now. Everything's in your hands. So having that app, so you can see where the status of your prospective investors are, is really useful. And it also acts as a prompt for you to say, "Oh, that individual was interested. We had a conversation. Let's just make sure we have that follow-up meeting." Obviously prompted by the emails and the calendar, but the pipeline system is really good, and it takes it away from the old-fashioned concertina files. It really automates these things now.
Yeah, it just makes it a lot easier. And I think that the thing that we've tried to do more than anything else is to just get a marketing system that actually works. So with the pipelines, the emails, the automations, all that sort of thing, which you don't really have to touch too much. I mean, you really just have to be in the pipeline and just work the pipeline, don't you?
Of course, yeah, it's really useful. And I think what has been really beneficial for me is when I looked at a system, and you go looking for these systems in the market, there are literally hundreds, and you just don't know where to start. You need an email system, you need a filing system, you need something that will capture people's information. And I think what Property Pipeline Pro provides is that all-encompassing system. And when you add into the fact that it's actually quite fun to do this, and there's a lot of support there, there's really not much out there, I would suggest, that comes close to that complete package.
Thanks. I mean, that's really was our goal, and I'm glad it's come over that way. I mean, the only last thing is really about you talked about the support's good and things like that, but what we've actually done is we've created an onboarding process. When you first started this, I mean, you came into this with expectation, let's say. When we first spoke, we had an initial call. Mm-hmm. We went through what we did, and you said, "Okay, well, that seems like sort of the right thing." So the end result is there. But what was the experience like going through that whole process, that onboarding process?
It was really straightforward. I keep using the word overwhelming, and I think for someone who's not used to funnel systems and used to this type of technology, it can be quite daunting. But I think the onboarding process was very straightforward. It was very it could fit around my time and my time management, and it was really simple and straightforward. So for anyone who's like myself, not really used to working with funnel systems before, it really was like a step-by-step, very simple approach to doing it. And it wasn't too much at one time. We would do a little bit, we would then have the break and come back. And like you say, it took 3 months, but looking back, it didn't feel like 3 months. It felt quite quick, because I think you're enjoying these things, and that's
the thing, isn't it? It's like, we're working together and getting it up and running and making sure everything's working perfectly and stuff like that. And because on my landing page, I say you can get it up in 14 days, and we've had someone do it in 5 because they had everything there.
Yes.
Most clients take more than 14 days. They take anything between sort of 5 and 40 days, that sort of thing. But the reason why I think that's important to state, even though we say 14 days on the site, and I'm glad you said it was 3 months, because it takes time to get the information right. We want to, before we launch, we want to make sure the information's right, and not everybody's ready. I mean, you wasn't ready with a downloadable prospectus.
Yeah.
You knew that you needed one, but not really too sure how to do it. And we worked with you to get that prospectus up and running, and you used the templates we got. We had some training in there and things like that to help you get it done. But I think the prospectus that you've got now is a really, really powerful tool, because it states everything. We sort of worked on the structure, we worked on the text and the copy, the graphics, and we worked together on that. And I think this is the important thing I want to get across for anybody who's thinking of coming on to Property Pipeline Pro, is that we do hold your hand all the way through this. And it doesn't really matter how long it takes, because most people, as we know, would probably take a year to do this. Or I know people have been doing this for 2, 3, 4 years and still haven't got what they want up online. And what we want to try and do is to get everything done as quickly as possible, but in the time frame that suits you guys, the clients. So yeah, doing it bit by bit is really, really important. Making sure you get the bits right. We had numerous calls about not just the downloadable prospectus, but the on-page copy and the graphics and the colors and the branding. And we did things like the logos and stuff like that, and you went off and you got some fantastic logos for the site. In fact, I just want to quickly share the site. If I just, let me just get this up here. This is the site we ended up with. And as you can see, this is the downloadable prospectus. This is where people would download it. So they click on that. And that's really the first call to action. But there is a second call to action, which is booking a call with you. And when we click on book a call, it goes through to this call booking process, which is a bit like Calendly, And another thing that we've tried to do with Property Pipeline Pro is to cut out a lot of the individual little bits of software. I know lots of people use things like Calendly, which is, it's a good product, but because of the software we've got, we're trying to do everything in one place. And it does cut out a lot of the confusion between all these different pieces of software, trying to get them all to work together. So we've got that, and this is the sort of the back end of it. This is where the sites are built. It's a bit like ClickFunnels in some ways. I think it's a better product. I think it's a more solid product, but this is how we put it all together. And we worked on every single one of these pages together, made sure that it was all working. We've got things like the email campaigns that we put together for you. These are all sort of sorted out beforehand. But to say, what you said is that, it was nice to have a format, some sort of blueprint to go from. And then we go into them and we just customize them all to your process as well. Once people sort of download the guide, if they download the guide from here, they put the details in, so it's going straight into your CRM. So you capture that information, which is important. Once they put their details into that, it goes in onto this page where they can actually download the guide. And I was really impressed with what you did with the guide and some of the stuff we put in there. This is what the guide looks like. It's a PDF which we put onto or rather you put onto your Google Drive, so people can download it very easily. But I think it looks incredibly professional. I think you've done a fantastic job on that. And it just looks really good. And I think this is the sort of thing that I think that investors will differentiate you from a lot of the competition out there, because everything that we've put in place and that you've worked on very hard to do this now looks incredibly professional. And we've also got right at the end here, we've got a next step. So you've got why invest and all those sort of things. It's a really, really good comprehensive little guide here. But we've also got right at the end the next steps, and we've got this book a call button in the actual PDF, which we put in with you. And this is a really important thing, because when people are reading the PDF, they want to go back to the site and maybe say, right, I definitely want to talk to this person now. So to have a book a call button sitting in that, which actually goes back through to the right page, to the page so they can actually go and book a call, is it's just joining all the dots and making everything as professional as you possibly can make it. And I think this is what we've done together, is to get a really good professional website up for you. But this isn't just the only website. We've also got the Motivated Seller website, which is here. So your Motivated Sellers website, we give you 2 websites in Property Pipeline Pro. this one again has a call to action, has one call to action, and this is important, really, isn't it, Steve?
Really important. Just to pick up on a couple of things that you mentioned there, Andy. I suppose the measure of how well this works is one, how happy I am as the customer, I suppose, with the look. But also, more importantly, I've had people speak to me who think I've been in property for decades and decades and decades because of the professional look. And I'm talking about very, very experienced investors who were really impressed with the look, the feel, the professionalism, how easy it was to use and navigate. And I think just in terms of raising the profile of the business owner, it's been untold in terms of the benefit. It's just, like you say, it's just so slick and so simple to navigate as the owner, as the host, but also as the prospective investors. It's really fantastic. But in terms of the call to action on the motivated seller site, again, we're talking about people who want to do something different with selling their properties, and in a lot of cases, these people may be quite stressed and quite distressed, I suppose, in terms of doing that. And so to provide a website that looks professional, it goes into detail about how we can help people, and just doesn't look like your normal website. It's got lots of information on there. It talks a lot about how to navigate it, and it just makes it really easy for people who may be distressed and may be looking for a solution that they've not really found. So it gives them that professional look. It's very easy to navigate, and as you say, there's plenty of call to action buttons on there to get to the right people.
Yeah, and as it is, there's call to action buttons all the way down this, but there is one call to action, which is they put their details in and the property details, and that's it. It goes into your CRM. You get an email to tell you that someone's put their details in, and that's important as well. So we send an email, obviously, within the system, we'll send an email out to the prospect, the person who wants to sell their property, but you also get an email telling people, like an internal notification email, telling you that someone has signed up, and there's a little reminder in there as well, so call them back.
Yes.
Which is, I mean, it's just really to sort of try and help you, because with you, you're very much an individual in this, but there are companies out there who do this sort of thing, who need this, that may have a small team and can put users in, so different people can have those emails, so you can send a direct email to someone in the team to call someone back, and things like that. The actual software is it's not a small piece of software either, is it? I mean, it can do so many things. What we've done is we've created a product, so we use this software, this Go High Level funnel centric software. But it's quite expansive. You can put more websites on. You can actually sell anything through it. It's quite an amazing piece of software. But for what we're doing here, it just gives you everything you need in one place. So you don't have to worry about too many things. We link it up with a lot of Google stuff. So Google Drive, we've got Google Calendar in there, got emails going through Google Workspace. So instead of having lots of stuff all over the place, we're just trying to get it down to a very simple, manageable product, which enables you to grow over time as well, because you're going to be adding more stuff to this at some point.
Absolutely, yeah. I suppose what I'll also say, Andy, is because there is so much in the back office to do this, it does take time. It does take time to do that and to get it right. But you don't know that as the customer. Let's say you really didn't see all that work that goes into the back. I know it because we've talked a lot about the work that goes into it, and 3 months flies by, and that 3 months was probably only 3 months because of my work pressures elsewhere. As you said, you can do it a lot sooner if you've got the time and some knowledge, which I didn't have. But yeah, it's the system is there, and 3 months invested time to get a system that is pretty much hands off.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's
no questions to ask there.
That is really the big thing as well, because as I say, I've spoken to loads and loads of property investors over my time, and the amount of time they spent trying to get websites up and the cost and all that sort of thing is it's huge sometimes, and sometimes they still don't work at the end of the day. So at least we get you up and running, we get you done, get you finished. But it's so just to give you a bit more of a view. if you're interested in, if you're a property investor interested in what Steve does, then you can go over to horizonpropertygroup.co.uk. You can see the website, download the prospectus, find out a bit more about them, or book a call, because some of the stuff that you're doing, I think, is quite amazing. But I learned so much about my clients as well. I've learned so much about your business and how you work, and you've got things like ethical guides and stuff like that, which I think is really, really good today. But I just wanted to say it was a pleasure working with you and getting this up and running with you.
And you too, Andy, as well. And you too.
What was just this one last question?
Yes.
What was the kicker in actually coming on board with us? What drove you to actually say yes to this?
There wasn't really one kicker, but I'll summarize it in a few. They all mean the same thing. As a property investor, you need someone who knows property. If you're building a system, you need someone who knows systems. If you're looking for marketing, you need someone who knows marketing. I think what you and Property Pipeline Pro bring is all three of those pillars together into one system, which just makes it so seamless in a property investing scenario. Now, it could be any other business. It's the marketing and the systems knowledge that you bring that really have made this decision very easy. And as the product shows at the end, the end product is fantastic. And that's not just me saying that. That is, as I said, property investors who've been doing this for dozens and dozens of years, who've, like you say, have got multiple systems. They don't know how to use them. So I think it's those three things coupled together: the property investment knowledge, the marketing knowledge, and the systems knowledge, all grouped into one. With your friendly demeanor, Andy, I think it just makes it a very easy decision to make.
I try. I know what it's like, and I think this is the thing. I know what it's like when I first started doing websites and building systems and things like that. I know it's actually quite difficult to do. And just, over the years, and we've been doing this for sort of like 10 years, doing things like funnels for companies and things like that. And I think this is what I tried to do in the onboarding process, was to try and break it down so it doesn't overwhelm, take all the tech off you, so you don't have to worry about the tech, and just get a system that you can actually go and run. Yeah. So that's really what it is. But listen, Steve, it's been fantastic joining me today. Thanks very much for doing that. And we'll see you next time. See you later.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Nice to meet you, Andy. Thanks.